It's time to start Dishin Days with your hosts Tony Moore, Michael Mattis, Justin Lee Hareld, and Araceli Aviles. And now, let's dish. Why, hello, everybody. Happy Sunday. Welcome to Dishin Days, where we are serving up a full dish of this week's episodes of Peacock's exclusive #1 award-winning HIT hit soap opera, Days of Our Lives. If you haven't already, make sure you like us and follow us on all social media platforms. We are Dishin Days Show on Facebook and Dishin Days on Instagram, X, and Threads. Also, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's right. If you're watching us right now live and in living color and you have not hit that subscribe button, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and that bell notification. That way you'll never miss when we upload a brand new video or when we're going live. It's like your little reminder. So subscribe and tell a friend. Also, if you have not already, make sure you join our exclusive members only page where you will be full of Days content from your favorite Days cast members along with your favorite your favorite coasts of Dishin Days, including Justin Lee Harold's "Those Were the Days" extended, and giving Salemites blah, 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 blah. Cannot talk today. Almost like last week. Also giving her favorite Salemites some lovely advice in a segment called Thea Says. Miss Araceli Aviles is dishing out some advice of her own, but that can only be seen on our exclusive members only page. So make sure you go to our YouTube channel, hit the join button, and for $4.99 a month, you'll get some amazing content and be able to join us in our virtual events. I guess I should also mention that our virtual event for February has been canceled due to the anniversary.
We tired, people.
Yeah, we is tired. Also, if you have not already found us on your favorite podcast station, you can. We're on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Just in case you can't watch us live and you are pumping iron in the gym or driving along your coast or taking a family vacation on the beach, you can listen to all the stunt shows and shenanigans of Salem brought to you by your favorite Dishin Days hosts. So make sure you go find us, Dishin Days, on your favorite podcast station. Also, make sure you show some love to our former co-host and my chocolate twin, Mr. James Lott Jr., who's serving up a couple of dishes of his own. Make sure you check out JLJ Media on YouTube and where all podcasts can be found. In order to get your fix of the rest of the soap opera lineup, we have a recap of Bold and the Beautiful, General Hospital, and Young and the Restless right there on JLJ Media, along with some original, handwritten, produced audio drama content brought to you by my dear old friend, Mr. James Lott Jr., because he is the only person that I know who is old enough to remember when the gate was invented for Beyond the Gates.
It works.
It does. Make sure you tell us your thoughts while you're joining us live. And also, if you're watching us later, leave some comments. We do see them. I promise you. We do. And there you go. All right, kiddos. What a week. It has been us and Dave. But before we get into our dissection of our lovely soap opera, what did you guys think of this week's episodes of Days?
Really good, actually. I really liked it. I thought we got some interesting dynamics with people who we may not see a lot together, and then some movement on some stories.
Yeah,
we definitely got some movement, some great movement, some necessary movement.
Yeah,
good movement we needed.
It was steady, and then Michael Mattis, who is not here, was cheering loudly so that we could all hear him through text.
Oh yes, that's right. Michael Mattis isn't here, obviously. He tied.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I did want to relay that he cheered, as many of our people in the chat are as well.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I should have went to the car. Well, let's break it on down, shall we? I'll use the cup because I don't have the hourglass because the hourglass is still in the car along with all the rest of stuff from because I am what? Tired. So it is now time to start Dishin Days.
Okay, hold on a second. Did we or did we not say that we were going to snip the recording of last week's live and just input that in there because there's no chance in hell we're ever going to get it right?
Yeah, but somebody has to do that.
Okay.
And I'm tired. I am TIREDDDDDD. But it'll get there. Let's start off with our first storyline, shall we? Which is Rachel DeMar. I mean, Blake. Well, the woman in white is Rachel Blake, aka Kristen's mother, aka Rachel's grandmother, aka gotta look at the family tree to see the correlation to EJ.
No biological one.
Let me tell you, not get a Red Bull. I don't like Red Bull. It don't give you wings. Side note, did y'all know that someone sued Red Bull for false advertisement because the slogan is Red Bull, it gives you wings, and it did not give him wings. So he sued Red Bull and won.
Really?
Yes.
That's hilarious.
Yes. Actually, you know what? I'm sorry. I know we're talking about days, but sometimes we have to have fun facts.
This sounds like a horrible lawyer. How did they win that case?
I have no idea. It was settled for $13 million.
What?
It says Europe-based energy drink company Red Bull has agreed to pay out up to $13 million in compensation to settle a class action suit launched by upset customers who say the company uses false advertising to promote its product.
Wait a second. Red Bull is European based?
Yeah.
Oh, I know. No Europeans are putting that in their body.
I don't know. Anyway.
Oh heck, I sue them just for that. Like you're selling it to us dumb Americans, and I know no Europeans are drinking that stuff.
I listen. There's a part of me that was that because you know how you always get those class action suits when you like in the mail. Like somebody should have signed me up for that. Anyway, sorry. Back to days. So. Can we just say that Aramid is very busy right now? Because, listen, Rachel was in that house by herself, floating through with her furniture still under wraps and everything like that, not minding anybody else's business but her own. And then in comes Rachel. Then in comes Kristen and Brady. Then in comes Ava. And then in comes, I'm like, I know at one point she's probably like, listen, stop coming to my house.
House has been abandoned for like 20 years or 30 years, and now all of a sudden everyone is
But now with the addition of Rafe into the house,
brought to you by EJ.
Brought to you by EJ. I have the same question that I had for the EJ portion of it. Now I have the same question towards the Rachel portion of it. I'm like, okay, you have these two hostages in the house. What's the long-term plan here?
Is there ever a long-term plan when people kidnap people?
Like, oh, you have them both tied to a chair. You put them in the same room together, and what? Pretend you're having a tea party?
No. Rafe is upstairs. Ava
Yes.
is downstairs.
That what I'm saying. I'm saying at this point, it would be more entertaining if he was brought downstairs and they were to have a tea party.
Annette Thompson, I have the same question as to Annette's question.
Yeah.
Why didn't Rachel Blake have that furniture uncovered all these years? Exactly. Like, who is she covering up for? Like, you just living in the house, disconnected from the world, apparently.
I do like she keeps mentioning the parrot man stops by every once in a while, which kind of, it just makes me laugh just because he was such a big character back then.
Okay, now I need a picture of this parrot man because everybody keeps saying the parrot man, the parrot man. I can't picture the parrot man. Like, what's so special about the parrot man?
He was like a tea spiller in Aramid. He's the one who like released that Lexi was Stefano's and Celeste's kid. He was just someone around back then that they dismissed as like the village idiot. But he was,
and he had a parrot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that he talked to. He's a little off.
Now, did he talk to the parrot, or did the parrot talk back, or did the parrot spill secrets too?
I want to say he may have done the voice of the parrot, as if the parrot was talking, not visual effects talking to him, but in his mind, the parrot was talking back to him.
See, this is why you can't have animals on soap sets anymore, because it just brings up so many more questions.
Yeah.
Well, apparently, Cutler was his name. And he was a character with a parrot on his shoulder who always spoke in rhymes.
Yeah.
In the mysterious town of Aramid, which also had the Lady in White as one of its citizens, Cutler appeared on days from August 1995 to 96. And if you give me a few moments for your pleasure, Araceli, I will present to you what this man looked like when he appeared on the show.
Yeah.
Let's see.
He needs to make a cameo. We need to see him, like a scene needs to start with him and Rachel just having coffee or tea or something in the Blake house.
Okay, so hold on. You gotta love technology and how quickly things can happen. So, Araceli, this was Cutler. Thanks to Jason47, this was Cutler as he appeared on the show. So that was the parrot man.
He used to most of the time wear like a beanie and then would have the parrot on his like shoulder. Yeah.
Yep.
So now I just keep picturing Iago from Aladdin.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I like EJ in this mix. Excuse me.
Yeah, well, here's the thing that had me cackling the whole time. Imagine being the first visitor and just watching all this stuff happening, watching Rachel and her grandmama basically kidnap you, then watching Kristen come in and decide not to save you and have a reunion with her mother.
Right.
And then eventually here, I mean, she's got to be somewhere where she's hearing now. Wait, no, she saw EJ.
Yeah.
Then EJ coming, finding out that there's another person here. Like meanwhile, all tied to a chair.
Poor Ava.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say, EJ was going to help her initially until Rachel was like, listen, hold your horses a minute.
Well, I mean, she did the same with Kristen too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Kristen. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know what's tripping me up about all this is, from what I've been told, Rachel Blake back in the day, from what we've been discussing, it seems like Rachel Blake back in the day was the angel on Kristen's shoulder. I'm very confused about how we went from that version of Rachel to this much more Kristen-ized version of Rachel. Like, and don't get me wrong, this is exactly what I would have expected Kristen's mother to be like, but this is the Kristen that I know, not the Kristen of old.
Yeah. She kind of, I was waiting for that too, because I'm like, that's why I always thought it was like a projection, or it was a figment of Rachel's imagination. She explained it a little bit today, even though I think she needs to go into more detail. She basically was saying, like, because she was robbed of them again, she just basically wants to help Kristen any way she can. It was a little clunky, but I feel like that's the way they're going, that she now has sort of been jaded by the fact that, you know, she got collapsed, and the tunnels collapsed out her, and she spent some time in a sanitarium, and, you know, now it's like, I just want to spend time with my kids and do whatever, or get them whatever they want, or kind of a thing, which, again, a little clunky, and it doesn't resemble the old Rachel Blake, but also, like, none of those people are around anymore, unfortunately. So it's like, I mean, I don't know. I'm fine with it. There's trying to at least attempt to explain it a little bit more, I guess. But yeah, it's a very different Rachel Blake from, you know, 20 something years ago, or 30 something years ago.
Well, we don't really know, like, the timeline as far as, like, how long it took her to heal.
Yeah.
Like, from not knowing who she was for quite some time, and then figuring out who she was, then the healing of the scar and everything like that. It probably was a lot to where she maybe mentally, this is what Days wants us to, you know, go with. Mentally, maybe she just wasn't ready to, like, be in a rush to go back and let Kristen and Peter know that, like, she was alive, because maybe she had to get herself together. And then I think, you know, maybe she was kind of getting there, but not there yet. But then seeing Rachel just kind of accelerated everything. I mean, it kind of had to. So
I will say, if we do all of this and we don't get an appearance by Peter soon, I'm not going to be happy.
Yeah, they're ramping this Peter talk up a lot lately. So I'm like, are we getting... Yeah.
Oh, you mean to tell me they don't want to announce if Peter is coming on, seeing as how we know everybody else in their mama who's coming on within the next year or two?
We didn't get a 7 month ago, or announcement 7 months ago, so I guess not. But yeah, listen, this is what they're keeping secret. They're keeping the Peter casting.
Oh, we're gonna keep the Peter casting secret, but we're gonna let everyone know who's coming in advance in the next 5 years.
Although there is, I don't know if you guys remember, maybe a few weeks ago there was a publicized casting notice, but because Days was being so tight-lipped about who it was, it could be Peter, it could be a random other guy. I forget the actor. He was from another soap, but it was they didn't release any information, so I don't know. It could be Peter, it could be just a mysterious new person they're introducing with the new writers, but who knows? Maybe we'll get Peter coming in soon.
Either way, next Halloween, I want Tony Moore to be dressed up as a Skylar sister, because he will never be satisfied.
A what? A who?
A Skylar sister.
Satisfied of what?
Hocus Pocus.
Satisfied of what?
From Hamilton, Justin.
No.
Hamilton.
Oh, I thought you were...
well, okay. I mean, I got it, but what am I not satisfied about?
Because I made the counter argument that we could also get, like, no warning and be really, really disappointed in whoever comes on, and have no warning, and then it's 8 months later we can't do anything about it. We can't voice our opinions. It's too late.
So riddle me this. Oh boy, this is one of those side arguments we're about to have. Riddle me this. When Allison Sweeney was announced that she was coming back, and was that a chance for the fans to go, no, we don't want her back, so that way they wouldn't bring her back? Is that where we're going with this?
I voiced my opinion at the time that I thought that was kind of a way to cover the fact that Drake was sick. I voiced my opinion on that because of the timing of it.
That they
it was
made that announcement to kind of throw off fans
yes,
on where Drake was.
yes, because it was tight-lipped, but timing wise, Drake was kind of nearing the point where they didn't know if he was going to get better. So, and again, I have no first-hand knowledge of this, but I just think that was what it was. And in addition, it wasn't like they were announcing a new character. So actually, Tony, in regards to a more recent announcement that they made, that the show made regarding possibly a new character, we don't know. I agree with you on that point. If it's a brand new character or if it's some big announcement like that, maybe 7 months is too early. I will concede that. But for Sammy Brady, I didn't see it as much of a return announcement because I'm like, well, she was here and then she was gone, and then she was here and then she was gone, and then she was here and then she was gone. Why? It's not a big announcement.
But notice that like they continue to do that though, because they did it with Serena when she was about to come on as Xander's mom. They did that with Anna Lynn when that was a whole year. And by the time she did premiere, we only saw her arm. But they keep making these like very premature announcements that I wish I didn't know, because I would rather be watching the show and go, oh, who's that? And then maybe see an article, about said character or
I do
said
think
return.
that there was less time with Serena's character. I don't think it was that far ahead in time.
No, but it was still kind of like it was still an announcement that she was coming.
Yeah, and then with Anna Lynn, well, that was like a lot of back and forth. Was too much of everything.
I'm with Debbie Bright in that I would just rather be surprised. I would rather, in the midst of watching the show, a door open, someone comes around the corner, or you see somebody's hand, doing stuff, and I rather just be surprised. Because then what fans do is they then start picking up on all these clues as to why that character is returning, or what, like, where the storyline is happening, and I think that takes the appeal out of it.
Well, then let's bring it back to this storyline. Did we have any clue that they were going to bring the woman in white back? Because to my knowledge, we did not. That was a complete surprise.
No. So when she cut the corner in Aramid, I was like, who it is? And when she said, oh, I'm the woman in white, I immediately went, I feel like that's familiar. And I went, and that kicked my interest in the show. Go ahead, Justin.
Do you think it's possible to keep a surprise like that on a high profile actor though? Is that possible this day and age?
Yes.
Okay.
I do. I think so, because soaps are so tight that honestly, the only way you can know about anyone's return is due to someone slip up on set. Whether it's a cast photo that gets leaked and you're like, why is so-and-so there? Someone sitting in the makeup chair just taking a photo of somebody doing their hair, and some fan realizes down at the bottom of the makeup mirror is the cast thing, and they zoom in and digitize. We have our own patch, black patch detectives out there who then zoom in and clear out and be like, oh, it's this picture, that picture, you know what I mean? But I feel like with soaps that their sets are so close knit that the only way information can get leaked is if someone within leaks it.
Yeah, I mean, they're actually like locked down.
Don't we have the community of spoilers where all of that information comes from?
Yeah.
Whoever is on set. We don't know who's leaking spoilers, but I mean, but wouldn't that same information come out? Like, I guess.
I guess that's not our department. That's up to those people who actually are on the set, and that's up to them to put their faith and trust in. It's but to Tony's point, it's not like this is the set of Bridgerton where people are actively flying drones and have long lens cameras in between bushes trying to get a sneak peek of the woman in silver.
Right. I mean, listen, if Beyonce can keep all her stuff to herself, clearly shows can keep stuff to themselves.
Now, Beyonce runs a tight ship. Like the tightest.
I'm just saying. She filmed a ton of videos that nobody knew about and then released them. And we were like, where'd these come from? And she had to have multiple cameramen, DPs, PAs, dancers, all these people.
She also pays top dollar for people not to talk.
Phew. I wonder how long that paperwork is.
Well, side note, I must give Me World his introduction. Yes. He's late. He just brought the rights to Body and Soul from Kate and got Leo fired. Thank you so much.
Not you,
Thank you, Me World. At some point, Me World, I wish you would use this money to, I don't know, buy a membership with us. But all right. Anyway, sorry that we sidetracked that. We'll probably talk about it again when we mention something else again when I give an eye roll during news and gossip. But in pertaining to this, bringing it back around, like I'm glad we didn't know about this because I feel like this storyline is one of the most interesting storylines because to your point, Araceli, well, I think Araceli, you brought this up that she was the angel. Back in the day, and now she's really trying to be conniving and helpful. And it was weird, honestly, because both EJ and Kristen both were like, "You can't do this," and then realize how it would hurt them, and they were like, "Maybe it's not so bad."
Yeah, I'm wondering how this how this dynamic's gonna play out because back in the day it was interesting because Kristen was sort of teetering at that point. She hadn't fully had her breakdown yet. That pushed her over the edge to Stefano versus Rachel. So it was like a tug of war with them. But also if Rachel now is if she's of the same mindset of what Kristen is now, it's like, okay, not where do we go from here? I think, yes, it'll be interesting, but I don't know. I don't know if it's as interesting if they would have went with her still being the good, the angel, so to speak, and trying to maybe pull Kristen back to her side after all these years. I don't know. I guess we'll have to see kind of where this goes. I mean, I do like the fact that she's mixed up with EJ now and he's come into this portion of it. And, it's bringing up issues of family and, dynamics and adoption and all that kind of stuff, which I think is interesting. Yeah. I guess we'll see. I am definitely interested in it, though. I think it's an interesting. I never would have thought they would have brought back the woman in white, and if so, they would have brought her back now. I would have, like I said, preferred. It's a little bittersweet because no one else on canvas is like that. She was connected to and involved with. We don't have Lexi. We don't have Celeste anymore. Stefano's not around. John's not around. Like, I don't know. It's missing a little something for me where I think like, oh my God, like to see her and John interact again, or her and Lexi, or her and Celeste, if they brought back Celeste. I don't know.
I think we're missing. Yeah, we're missing two people. We're missing Peter and we're missing Celeste.
My God. Rachel died.
Honestly, they could have had Celeste hiding her out all these years or like helping her. You know what I mean? Like that could have been another little entryway into it too. Yeah.
Yeah. But I think the addition of now EJ knows and Rafe it brings everything to like a center point And ooh, my gosh, because Steve is now also putting the pieces of the puzzle together along with Brady.
Thank God.
I don't know about y'all, but that phone call that Steve was having with Tripp, it kind of got on my nerves. And this is why. Tripp is a grown man. Why are you protecting him from information?
Okay.
Because he's his father?
Tripp is a grown man.
I repeat, he's his father. He's not coddling him, and he's not.
It's a bit of coddling.
It's
because
it's not that it's not that bad. He very quickly got on the phone. He just said, "I'm gonna handle it. I will try not to worry." I feel like coddling him would be like out and out lying to him. Like
it's not
actively like trying to keep the truth from him.
It's not by not knowing is keeping the truth away.
No,
because the second
second
Brady started going into what was happening, Patch immediately was like, give me the phone. Almost
because
as like,
oh
Brady,
anything.
you're starting too much.
Because they don't know anything. It'd be different if like he knew for a fact that Ava was in trouble and he's trying to keep the truth and he's actively trying to keep the truth from Tripp. Steve got his PI thing on and he's saying, okay, maybe she's in trouble, but maybe not. Let's wait to see what I find out.
But the equation right now is they were told via text that she was going to Hong Kong. They called Tripp and Tripp is like, I ain't heard from her. She ain't in Hong Kong. Is it like if you got that phone call, if I called you and said, oh, Justin's not here today. I got a text from him that said he was off to Atlanta. And you go, Atlanta? Okay. And then you call someone, like, is Justin in Atlanta? And they're like, no, Justin isn't in Atlanta. I mean, don't you think that's part of the puzzle? Isn't that putting the pieces of the puzzle together because you have this information that is not true?
See, you mess up your own argument because you put the lost person as Justin and you put the person in charge of figuring it out as me. And that doesn't work because we're both adults. And we're
so Tripp is not an adult?
No, and we're of the same dynamic. Where he's my friend. If you were to say that about one of my girls, one of my nieces, then and I call like a hotel and they're not there, then it's all hands on deck. I'm calling the cavalry. I'm calling LAPD. I'm calling the biker dudes. I'm calling everybody.
But what if
whether 24 hours have passed or not, whether it's a weird text or not, I'm calling everybody.
So then since you got that, so then if Justin was the one that called you with this information and you were like, what? My nieces aren't there. And then I go, Justin, give me the phone. Araceli, don't worry. Everything is fine. Like, don't you worry. Click.
I reiterate, you are not my parents. It's different.
Doesn't matter who it is. You have information about people that you care about, right? Would you not want to know about this information?
Oh, no. I'm not saying that he wouldn't want to know.
Would you want to be shielded from this information?
No,
because they didn't want you to worry?
No, I wouldn't. But that wasn't the question that you asked.
But that's what they were doing.
But the question that you asked was Steve coddling Tripp? And yes. I would make the argument that no, he is trying to.
By not giving the information,
him. It's just a difference of opinion in the wording. That's all I'm saying. It's the wording.
Justin,
I don't consider it coddling. I'd consider it trying to read.
Okay, that's great. Justin,
I'm actually going to reserve to see what this week looks like.
No,
Okay.
no, there's no reserving.
Okay.
We are on this topic right now. I'm not trying to say who's right, but I'm asking you, as Tripp being a grown person, do you think what Steve did and how he reacted to Brady kind of saying like, oh, well, this is what happened and she's not there, and then Steve being like, what are your thoughts on that? Coddling or no? Keeping the truth from no? Like what are we thinking?
I don't think he knows the truth, so he doesn't want to say anything. I think he's still oscillating between whether or not Ava is off on her own or something has happened to her. I don't think he knows, really. So until he knows, there's no reason to alarm Tripp.
But now he's alarmed because you already calling talking about, hey, is your mom there? Oh, she's not.
But there's different levels of alarmed. There's wait by the phone alarmed or get on a plane alarmed.
Right. But if anyone received that kind of phone call, it's already like, what's happening? Why are you calling and asking if she's here?
Yes, but to be fair, Steve also made the point that Ava has a lot of skeletons in her past, a lot of people that that could possibly be behind her kidnapping, where it's like a child being kidnapped would be one thing, but Ava being kidnapped is like, well, even if she is kidnapped, you know, she can kind of hold her own until we figure this out. There's a level of panic that brings it down a notch when you realize how much Ava.
You're only saying that because you know where Ava is and you know she's at Aramid. If they never cut to where if they never cut to where Ava was, wouldn't there be a little bit of like, where is Ava?
Yeah, and I'm just saying this is from Steve's perspective because you asked about this is specifically about Steve from Steve's perspective. Now, guarantee you, Steve would have a very different reaction if it was this Kayla who was kidnapped. And it was Stephanie, his little sweetness, who was worried. It would be a very different scenario.
I'm just going to go back and say they shouldn't try to keep that information. It's just be like, hey, we're not sure what the situation is. We're just trying to put some pieces of the puzzle together. We'll get back to you as soon as we have figured out a little bit more. But Brady jumped the gun and was like, girl, let me tell you what's happening. And I didn't see any reason why Tripp shouldn't know. Like, that was the whole reason why they called. Because Steve thought, oh, okay, oh, your mom is with you, great. And then when it was like the mom wasn't with him, it's like,
oops.
But you have to kind of ask to know, like, I mean, it was sort of Brady who jumped the gun by grabbing the phone and sort of making it an alarming situation. Yeah. Where if Steve was talking with Tripp, he could have easily said, oh, I thought your mom was going there. I haven't seen her around. I thought maybe she, you know, went to see you guys for a visit. Or he could have just said, oh, I talked to your mom a couple of weeks ago. She maybe said she was going to take a visit to you. I was wondering if she was there. Like, he's trying to keep the situation calm. It was really Brady who took it up to a new level, really. Because again, Steve still doesn't know what happened. Like, you know, he's still kind of like, oh, she either worst case scenario, she's kidnapped by either someone from her past or someone else, whoever, or she's Ava being Ava as he likes to think of her and was like, screw you, I need some time alone, F Salem, you know, whatever the case may be.
Tell that boy. All right, so that's pretty much it, right? We talked about that enough. It was a good conversation, though. Next up in our top storylines, we have Bye 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 Body and Soul. A round of applause if you are happy to see Body and Soul go.
Yeah.
The way it was, yes. What it turned into, yes. I'm happy to see it go.
I'm actually I tell you what, I actually like the fact that they were just kind of like, listen, y'all come first, and there's too much happening with this show. So they bought it back, and it's going back to California. And if you want to keep your job, head on to California. If not, and that's the weird thing, because it's like, thinking outside of this, so y'all just gonna have to recast everybody again?
I know. No.
Or are y'all gonna get the original actors back? It's so weird. It's like, I'm like, I wouldn't watch this show no more after it's gone through that many different castings. But let me tell you who said, I'm out of here. Hattie and Seth Burns.
Yeah, I kind of like that. That makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Also makes sense to figure out what to do with Hattie long term. It doesn't seem like they've ever been interested in keeping her around long term. So this makes sense.
Yes.
I mean, I feel like living in LA, we all know the delusion of it all. And Seth Burns is very much that character. Seth Burns said, listen, forget this hospital business. I'm out. I'm going to grab my soap star dreams.
Yeah.
In a crappy apartment by the freeway.
Yes. Which is, that part's realistic.
Very much so.
But side note, did anybody find it strange that the hospital is about to file for bankrupt?
Yeah, that came out of nowhere. It's like, huh? What?
I mean, if it gets resolved quickly, then I'll be annoyed. But I hope that this storyline is just getting started, so it kind of leads into something.
But why would it start? Like, my brain went, how does a hospital, like, have you ever heard of a hospital closing? Like, sorry, y'all.
Have you heard of a hospital closing?
I haven't.
Yeah.
What?
I've never been anywhere where a hospital closed.
You don't watch the news.
In this day and age, I do try to stay away from the news, to be honest.
Yeah, no, ditto, but still, no.
But I can honestly say, and maybe because growing up I did move around a lot, but I never heard of like a hospital closing, like
all the time.
You
know what it is that you're thinking like someplace like Cedars-Sinai closing. That's very different.
But I feel like I compare Cedars-Sinai to Salem University in a very weird way. Like that's like what if Salem University closed down? Wait, oh no, Salem Hospital. Why do I keep? It is Salem. Wait,
yeah.
If it closes down,
there are other hospitals in Salem though.
Oh yeah, that's right. There's that community one because Nicole went there for her fake pregnancy. Okay.
And then it was when Sammy was pissed at Abigail and they had that war of where she was going to donate the money for the kids. And it was like she gave it to the other hospital as opposed because she wanted to punish Abigail and EJ. Yeah, when she controlled Demira.
Well, honey, this is news to me. This is news to me.
Yeah, it can happen a lot. I mean, like a Cedars-Sinai is most likely not going to close from endowments and everything, but a mid-tier hospital is probably. It can probably close it. Or honestly, most hospitals are probably on the line, depending with the way insurance is now and donors.
Oh yeah.
They're probably all hanging on by a thread if you're not a big, well-known hospital.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, is this going to tie into like the business storylines that we hope we're getting? Like, where else does this go outside of like, I don't know, is this an excuse to have like a fundraiser? Like, I'm trying to understand what the storyline here, like what is,
well, that's why I'm not too invested in this storyline yet because you just listed off like 3 different possibilities of what could happen with it. And I feel like this is one of those storylines that it's like, I think I could see long-term legs with this, and it can go in many different directions.
Yeah. It could also be one of those like this hospital now goes private, so like certain people
Mhm.
own the hospital now, like
Yeah,
what we've done with other
that
shows. That
happens.
could be interesting. Yeah,
That happens.
yeah.
It just took me off guard.
Yeah, it was just kind of like, huh? What? Oh, okay.
Mm.
It's
Because we
like,
usually
oh,
don't get the hospital is in trouble scenes. Like that's never really been a huge focus of Days. If anything, maybe in the 80s there were a couple like fundraisers that they did to like, for a wing or something like that. And then we get the Santa reciting the holiday story. But yeah, the hospital in and of itself is usually not a big storyline for Days.
Oh well, here's hoping.
hmm.
In any case, it seems like most of our main players, our main body and soul players, are probably going to be sticking around. Besides Hattie and Seth,
Yeah.
do we think Joy is going to leave?
No, I think she might think about leaving, but something's going to keep her in Salem. I don't know what that something is, but I kind of feel like why introduce her for a 3-month stint or 4-month stint.
But I also just feel like this character has been on the verge of leaving the canvas
Yeah.
more often than she
Yeah.
probably should. Like
Yeah.
I don't feel stability
Yeah,
with Joy Wesley. Like I feel like they were going to get rid of her because of Johnny. Then I felt like they were going to kill her off a couple weeks ago. Now I feel like, she's going to be like, I don't have anything here. I don't have a man. I've already caused a lot of drama. Like, I'm out. And then she's just going to leave. But I don't know. Like, I feel like they can do so much with Joy. And I feel like they have not scratched the surface yet. I mean, having her intertwined with men who are already attached, that's already old. I would love to see the character plant better roots in Salem.
Point. Yeah.
Agreed.
Unfortunately, she's one of those characters who was born in Salem and then left, and all of her immediate connections aren't on canvas anymore. It's
That's true.
Okay, like how do we tie her to? I mean, they can kind of tie her to Bonnie, I guess, through Nancy, or they could tie her to Philip in some way.
That was what I was thinking, because they
not romantically, I'm saying,
no, but even just as like, I mean, he for all intents and purposes, Philip practically watched Joy grow up.
Yeah.
The number of years that he was in and out of Chloe's life, he was there when around the time that she was born. He's known her whole life. They don't have to be close, but the fact that could be that's a connection that could be tapped into.
Yeah. Or even like they haven't I don't think the two have had a scene together, but we haven't had any interaction with Joy and Brady. I mean, she would have been young back then, but he was her brother-in-law when, growing up as a toddler all those years ago. So I feel like they, like you said, they need to connect her to someone or something that anchors her, and Body and Soul was never that anchor.
Yeah.
She doesn't have the friendship with Chanel now anymore. That could have been interesting and something that at least build upon that. Nancy, Craig are not around. Chloe's not around. Honestly, would be a perfect time to bring Chloe back, but it doesn't seem like they're doing that.
What about we forget Doug? What about her and Doug?
I mean,
like as a couple,
that's definitely a connection that could develop, but I feel like that's more of a down the road kind of a thing, where we really, if it hasn't, trying to connect her to new characters is what they've been doing, or characters that she has no previous connection to is what they've been doing. And that's not what she needs right now. What she needs is someone who she already has an established connection with, however loose it is.
But there's no one that she really has
I know
a connection with.
Philip is probably Philip or Brady. I would say Philip more than Brady, but he's probably the closest person to her on canvas right now. Yeah. And it doesn't seem like she has, there's not much love lost there, it seems. Well, at least from her perspective to Philip. Philip's kind of like whatever.
But do we like Joy, the character?
We like Joy. We don't like what they've done with her as of late. Yeah. It's
I'm
a lot
curious.
of missed opportunities.
I'm curious as to if fans
Oh, I forgot this
like
one.
Joy too. Technically, Joy could have a connection with Holly and Maggie because of Chloe and Daniel. True.
This
Yeah,
is true.
that's if Parker was around, that'd be a little tighter, but yeah.
How many times have we said they could bring Parker back?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He'd be right around the age. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, it's sad for her because yeah, just a lot of potential. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm not sad that she broke up with Alex.
Yeah, I like the actress and I like the characterization of her. She's, she's kind of a tough New York. She has that New York kind of tough chick kind of thing going. I just don't feel like they don't know what to do with her outside of making her that interruption with Johnny and Chanel. It's like she's kind of, that was her big thing, and that was tepid at best,
Mm-hmm.
But I would like to see her stay around. They just need to write something good for her, or put her in a friend group or a relationship or some sort of situation that grounds her a bit more.
Yeah, I agree. Because Joy, the character, is a very dynamic character and a very interesting character. And the girl who plays it, I don't know her name at the moment. She's doing an amazing job. And so I feel like they need to keep her around.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Because I love the fact that she was like, looked at Alex and said, let's
Yes.
go. Let's go to LA. Oh, you want to stay here for family? Are you sure it doesn't have anything to do with Stephanie? Like, I was like, you know what? This was like a trait that I loved about Jada when she first came on. Is that she's not about the LA. She's not about the Salem BS, right? We're not going to tap dance around. We're not going to like fight to keep somebody. We're just going to go straight up. Do you want to be with Stephanie or not? Oh, you do?
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised by that. I thought they were going to go in the direction of her
being a little more scheming.
Her being scheming, that she was going to either fake her getting better to keep Alex, or like she was going to play on his sympathies to keep him away from Stephanie. So I was pleasantly surprised that they went in this direction. Yeah. But now it also is like, okay, well, now you're not with Alex either. So where now you're literally just floating. You're floating in the wind now.
It's like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Yeah.
A lot of this stuff with Body and Soul still feels a little too close to home. I would like to know where the real life situations of Body and Soul came from, because it's there.
Oh yeah.
The diva-like attitudes, the constant like things that happen with cast, the inner turmoil with cast, the switching of networks and doing like I feel like a lot of this stuff is very much like very telling, and pulling the mask down of what soaps are like behind the scenes.
I feel like we shouldn't comment on something.
Well, I think there's a couple I think
should not comment on that.
Are pretty obvious and like, okay, we see what you did here. But
yeah.
I feel like we'll get that book maybe in 10 years when Ron retires from soap opera writing.
I did feel bad though for Leo, because I was like, oh, he really wanted to be head writer, and they really could have just let him write in Salem. And then I felt bad for Doug, because I was like, oh no, now you ain't got no job. You ain't got no job.
That I was surprised by when they mentioned like, oh, you could still be the head writer. I was like, oh, he could be technically. He doesn't have to live in. He doesn't have to live in the same city. I was like, okay, they're sticking with this part for Leo and keeping his characterization and maturity and everything there. So
I mean, he could go back to being Lady Whistleblower. He'll be fine.
I kind of feel like he needs, if they keep him under this writing thing, I can see him going back to the paper, but in a bigger way. Yeah. I think he's outgrown Lady Whistleblower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
I can see him as a full-fledged reporter, and like maybe they make that his big thing, and he seems to get along. He was getting along better with Chad, and I feel like maybe that's the direction they take. But yeah, I feel like he's outgrown that.
Because who wants to go from writing a hit soap opera to a gossip column?
No.
All right. Well, R.I.P. Body and Soul.
One thing, I'm gonna miss Kate and Abe. I do like that partnership, and hopefully that continues some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
Agreed.
All right. Well, let's move on to someone who is seeing red because Miss Jada is pale.
Woo-hoo!
I hate that they always have her on the cusp of uncovering everything, and then they put her in a different direction.
Yeah.
Like if I was Jada, I'd be like, "Oh, what you doing down in the tunnel? What you doing down in the tunnel? Well, you know what? I'm gonna search the tunnel. I'm gonna look."
Mm-hmm.
And it's also, I wanted to say, Rafe, you are too big and too much of a man to sit here and act like you can't escape, you can't yell, you can't do nothing. You can't do nothing. Like you heard Jada was out there. You didn't want to just let out a big nothing. No, you didn't want to shake the chair. You didn't want to fall out the chair. You didn't want to do something.
Yeah, falling off the chair would have been better than those tepid yells he was trying to do.
Because the way I would have scooched up to the door and went and used my big 12s and went, boom, 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 something.
Or knocked over the plate of bacon or
something. Also, she ain't smell that. She ain't smell food.
Oh,
can you imagine if she found Rafe because she smelled bacon? Like that was.
I could do it.
Dipping point.
I could do it.
I would have been like, baby, why is there croissants and bacon and eggs smelling down here? We too far in the tunnel.
I could do it. I can smell tacos going over the freeway. I can do it.
Wow. Also, can I ask why no one is questioning this whole construction thing when there ain't not one truck?
I know, right?
Or dust or anything that indicates construction workers are there. Like you ain't hear some men carrying a ladder or equipment or something.
Ay.
Not a hard hat in sight.
I love Belle, but at this point she is willfully blind.
Belle is in a blissful state. Okay. She's getting what people will call a ding-a-ling. Okay. So she cannot be bothered right now. All right. And much like Rafe's breakfast, she wants it morning, noon, and night.
Yep.
Oh yeah, and EJ in his robe and all that. Like you ain't dressed properly to go down to no construction site.
But we are getting. I did like the confrontation with Jada and Arnold. I feel like she finally had enough.
Yeah, when she slapped the dog piss out of him.
Yeah.
But I think that slap, let me tell you what that slap was for. Because a slap is never about the moment. That slap was for the investigation. That slap was for the wedding. That slap was not believing in her. That slap was for the conversation. That slap was for her ancestors, her mama, Abe, Talia, the Salem PD. That slap was for any and everything pertaining to RAFE. And she extended her hand and she get like her like, and I love that they had her in straight hair for this because the hair followed
Yes.
through
Yeah.
with
That's
the slap.
lame.
It was like, yeah, and it was deserved.
Mm-hmm.
So she said, do we feel like Paulina should have made fake Rafe commissioner again?
Kind of feel like she had to. I mean, she had to
Yeah.
fill
Did
the
she?
position.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
There ain't
Yeah.
nobody else in the Salem department that, like somebody off camera that she could have said, Detective Robert O'Shea has been doing a great job and he's going to be the interim commissioner, but we just never saw him.
Yeah.
I mean, she did explain it.
She could have gave it to Sean, even though I know she said the last time he had a drinking problem. But I'm like, okay, well, he's sober now. So, I mean, you could, Sean was an option, I guess. Yeah. Again, she doesn't know she probably thinks she's doing the right thing. And
yeah,
she might even think she's protecting the position by giving it to Rafe.
That's right.
Because, if she's thinking, okay, if Jada is most likely innocent, we're going to clear her of these charges. And then, at least, the best person to be in this job in order to hand it back over to her is probably Rafe.
Side note, thanks, Teresa. It was lovely to meet you at our anniversary party.
Yes. Although some new is brewing there with her and Sean.
Mm-hmm. Sean, will you come with me? I hope you're happy now that you're choosing this.
Also, I'm assuming she's going to start packing and getting out of Rafe's house.
I'm surprised she didn't pack already.
That's what I thought. I thought it would fly after she slapped him. We'd see her like packing up her stuff in the Hernandez house, and because she can't. The break. Oh no, maybe maybe she'll be with Sean then, because I was thinking the Brady pub is full.
Mm-hmm.
She can't live there. Where else is she gonna go besides the Salem Inn? It seems like, Sean is divorced. He has that big house. We know he has the extra rooms because
she could just go back to the pub where she was before.
No, she just said the pub is full.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we gonna see.
Yeah, we're gonna see.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at it. I'm interested in seeing how it progresses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am. So the part of this whole week that I really liked in the storyline in particular was the conversation between Belle and Brady.
Oh yeah.
That felt so non-judgmental to me.
Mm-hmm.
That felt like Brady knew he is not willing to talk. He's just like, just be honest with me. Be honest with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's a real good sibling moment there.
Yeah. It's like you like it. Ooh, you like it. You know you like it. Mm-hmm. Just say you like it. Because you wouldn't have been, if you didn't like it, you wouldn't have been dutching and dodging Jada's questions. I'm like, I'm here to see Johnny in the same dress I had on yesterday.
And not Jada putting it together afterward. Like,
ouch.
And Sean just casually spilling. I was like, Sean, like, that's not like,
okay,
that's private, kind of private. Well, again, about it, but it's private.
I mean, that's the part I understand. Well, here's the thing. I actually understood it on Sean's part because he's talking to a friend. He's venting. The spilling of the tea that I didn't like was coming from Marlena, because it was like, why are you telling everyone this?
Marlena says it's my house. I don't give a damn.
It's my house, and I live here.
I get it, but it's like I would honestly, I would expect that kind of like stuff from like Steve or Kayla or Julie. Mm-hmm. I would not expect you to be spreading all that news all around town.
Marlene is
Marlena
on
got
one about this relationship. She's acting not out of character, but she's been tested by Bella and EJ
Oh.
finding them.
She said, not. She was like, Ayala, not in my house. Not in my
Can you
house.
imagine if she did that in the scene when she came
Oh
in?
my God. I would have
She went to
died.
the nightstand and started.
If she walked in and saw Belle and EJ and was just like, wait, like she saw him this. Not in my house.
The die.
Not in my house. Just saying.
Oh God.
I mean, she has every right to. Anywho. All right. Well, that was that storyline, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So before we go into tidbits, just some quick reminders to you. Make sure you follow us on all social media platforms. We are Dishin Days Show on Facebook and Dishin Days on Instagram, X, and Threads. Also, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you haven't already, sign up to be a part of our exclusive members only page. Only $4.99 a month and a whole lot of content. Also, take us along with you in your ears on your favorite podcast station. We're Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also, show some love to our former co-host and my chocolate twin, Mr. James Lott Jr., over at JLJ Media on YouTube and where podcasts can be found. Also, please keep telling us your thoughts on things. And also, if you're watching us later, we still want to hear from you. Just make sure you comment below. All right, moving on to our Ficka tidbits. We have adoption, keeping it in the family. While you guys begin this conversation, excuse me 1 second.
Yes. I'm sure we could see this a mile away, the way they were setting this up.
Yeah, but I'm going to veer left for a second here and actually commend Amy Choi this week.
Okay.
Because I feel like it's easy to dismiss her as the villain in this situation because of her belief system. But I think this week they did a good job of turning her character around and really emphasizing that she does love her daughter. Is she a little strict? Yes. Does she have a pretty does she have a strict hold on her values and that leaves very little room for, any outside influence? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But she does love her daughter. And I think her seeing her daughter's love for her own child was a good turning point for her to say, okay, I see that you genuinely want what's best for this child. And that you have thought about this, and that is a sign of real maturity in the situation to know that you know yourself and you know that you could love this child, and you could raise it, but not to the best of your ability, not to the extent that you want this child to be loved.
Yeah, I thought they did a good job this week of making her more of a three-dimensional character, which she wasn't. Not that she was necessarily a mustache trolling villain, but I feel like they were leaning on the heavy, she's the big obstacle here.
Mm-hmm.
I liked her a lot this week. I thought, again, they made her a lot more palatable and interesting. With that said, this whole thing, I'm just like, red flags are like going off everywhere in every direction of this storyline, where I'm like, I kind of saw this. I was thinking about this last week, or when the thought of like, we're going to try for a baby. And I thought, oh God, please don't tell me they're going this route. And I was like, this is not such a great idea on so many different levels.
Because they're just going to be walking around Salem with that baby.
Between Sophia, there's the Sophia Miss Choi side. There's the Johnny and Chanel related side. There's a lot here to like.
the thing is that they're all jumping the gun. Everybody is they all got this news so fast and they got to it within 5 seconds, and everybody is jumping the gun on this. If I were to say whose side this week I was on this week, I would actually say I'd be on Amy Choi's side, because she not only relented with Sophia and agreed to go through with the adoption, but she does believe that this child should go to a stable couple who has the finances, who has the value system. And it's like there's nothing wrong with having a value system.
Yeah.
And we all have different ones. But I think that is a strong moral compass is just what she's looking for. But the fact that if they go down this route, if they go down the Johnny and Chanel route, you're talking about a couple who only just got through a separation, who got told that they shouldn't get pregnant 5 seconds ago.
Mm-hmm.
Just wait till Miss Choi found out that Johnny was possessed by the devil.
There you go.
He's a Demira. In a Demira.
Like, yeah, and I'm just like, no. It's like, I wouldn't want my child adopted by this couple, not because I don't love them and I don't think that they deserve a child, but this is too fast.
Even if she liked Johnny and Chanel, the outside circumstances of their marriage, the fact that their Demira is like this, I mean, no, she's not going for this. She is under the guise of, if you find another couple, not necessarily from our church, but another faith-based couple who needs a baby, okay, I'm warming up to that idea and getting
someone
on board.
Who's ready.
Yeah,
someone who's really actually ready, not decided 5 minutes ago that they're ready.
Mm-hmm.
Can we also give a quick shout out, making her debut as Sophia, Miss Rachel Boyd?
Yes, yeah.
Came into the scene today. Bless these actors' hearts who come into like a storyline that is very like it's like it's happening, like, and you have to take a role over. It's like kudos to her. Shout out to Rachel.
Yeah, she was good in what we saw. I'm interested to see what we think of, because sometimes what we think of an actor can change based on who's playing them. Also, sometimes chemistry can change, where we were like, oh, I like them with this person, but someone else comes in and we're like, oh, okay. And, doesn't work the same or whatever. But I'm interested, though. I like what I see so far of her.
I do already notice a difference.
Yeah.
And that is Rachel just has to have a tish more sass to her.
Yeah.
I'm also getting, like, in Rachel's performance, like, real teenager.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think Madeline's performance, I'll use the word a little bit more sophisticated, I'll say. But I feel like Rachel's performance, I'm getting I'm getting senior in high school who's pregnant, who doesn't know what the hell she's doing. I'm getting that from her performance.
I think Madeline was kind of like almost borderline, like like the mean girl in school, right? Like that kind of girl who carried herself in that way, that very like, I don't care, I'm a bad bitch, that kind of, and I think there's a little bit more innocence with Rachel. Yeah. Both portrayals are good.
Yeah.
So,
and we'll see if that changes how they write too. They could write her different now too, that based on who's, like Rachel's playing her in a different way or coming across that way at least. Yeah. Yeah. But also, like, I don't know about you guys. I know inter-family adoption can be a thing. I also know that it can come with its own set of issues and complications. And again, Johnny is related to Tate. They're actually they're related technically on both sides, or they're double related on the same side. It's a little confusing, but they're like cousins, but also second cousins.
They're but to that point, they're distant enough cousins that it would this is the type of interfamily adoption that could work if you were just taking into account that fact.
Really? I see them as really close, not them close in terms of their cousin relationship, but I feel like their family is so close.
They're older family members, like their parents are closer than they are. So it would be, so that's what kind of makes it a little more comfortable, I think, where it could be a little more hands off. It's different than when back a few years ago, Allie was considering Sunny and Will to adopt her baby. That was her brother. That's way too close. That would not have worked.
Oh, see, I'm imagining Teresa just like Sammy was. This isn't gonna happen, and I'm gonna wreck this. I will burn this place down. But my grandchild is not being adopted by anyone, even if it's you, Johnny and Chanel, who I like. I get that, so that's why I'm like red flags all around.
This is what I need to know the answer. I need to know if anyone has even told Teresa that she's gonna be a grandma. Somebody call the woman up and tell her, because I want to know what her reaction is.
Well, yeah, they're step cousins, but they're also cousins through Teresa. They're second cousins because Sammy and
Teresa are cousins. Their children,
yeah.
But you see what I mean? They're distant enough that I think that it would be a hands-off situation. Interfamily adoption only works if you trust the person enough to be hands off with them.
Yeah, I don't trust Teresa. I also think Brady loves Johnny and Chanel. We've seen he has a relationship with Johnny and is, fine with Chanel, of course. But it's also the Demira aspect coming in there too. I think Brady would also have an issue with the fact of, yes, it's Johnny, it's my nephew, I trust him, but he's also in the Demira house. He's enmeshed with his father, EJ. I think Brady may not have such high hopes too. I think he might have some concerns of his own with this one.
Listen, they trying to not have this baby tie them down for the next 18 years. They're too young. Yeah. They're trying to figure something out. They like, oh, you won't let us have the abortion? Fine. Then we do an adoption.
Mm-hmm. But they're going too fast. They're going too fast, and in order for Mrs.
Time flies.
But in order for Mrs.
It's 3 months in. They got number 6 months.
It's taken like 2 months for Mrs. Troy to even agree to the adoption.
Well,
in order for her to really release the reins, they're gonna have to prove to her that they have really thought this through about what kind of couple is going to adopt their kid.
Mm-hmm. There's also, we talked about this before. There's something in the back of our minds that's like, is this even Tate's? We've talked about that before, so that's a factor too.
This is what we're dealing with right now. I am neither heads nor tails on that, but I'm saying this is where we are right now. And they're gonna have to start making some. Sorry, but they're going to have to start making some grown-up decisions, and that means actually thinking it through. Where are you? That means looking 1 year ahead from now and being comfortable with the decision that they've made.
Yeah. I'm just thinking too, we haven't had, I want to say, is Tyler Kiriakis, is that the last adoption we've had on the show? I was trying to think of I was thinking about the storyline. I was thinking what's the last reference point? And I'm like, I think it was probably him. And that was what, almost not 20 years ago, but at least 15 to 18 years ago.
Yeah, I think you're right.
That's probably the last actual, because Henry wasn't adopted. So that fizzled.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. So Days doesn't really do this a lot either, whether it's interfamily or not. So yeah. I'm curious, even though I see red flags from every direction about this, nothing about this is good, in my opinion, in any way, shape, or form. I just see this is a disaster all around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And to be fair, this would also be a disaster for Johnny and Chanel.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah, because getting to their side of it, it's like adoption is a very serious thing to be talking about. You can't make a spur of the moment decision like this 5 minutes after your doctor told you can't get pregnant. And to what Kayla said, she didn't say that they could never get pregnant. She said they can't get pregnant right now.
Yeah.
Biological clock is ticking. They ain't got time.
They have time. They have options. He's rich. They have lots of options. They could do in vitro. They could do surrogacy. They have tons. They could continue that option. But the problem is that they have not sat down for 5 minutes with this information, and they're already making big decisions.
Yeah.
Well, this is the moment that I school Araceli on a woman's body.
Oh God. Shooting daggers.
This is why I'm gonna hit you with a pillow. If I was there, I would hit you with a pillow. This is that look. Beware this one.
No, I'm dying, Father Eric.
Well, I'm gonna tell you this: with all that drama that's going on, if I were Holly, I wouldn't be planning on doing the dude with Tate.
Oh, this girl. Oh,
No,
I do
thank
like
you.
the not PSA, but when she's like, I started taking birth control a couple of months ago or a few weeks ago to like, I was like, okay, at least they've addressed that part of it.
That's great. But also, Tate already done said, oh, we wore a condom when we did it, and he still got a baby. I would look at Tate and be like,
well, I think that's why she said I've been taking birth control for a few weeks to get things going. So like, I'm not clearly she's not trusting condoms or condoms alone. She's making sure that at least on her end, she knows she's protected.
I'd be like, happy Valentine's Day. Here's some chocolates.
I so want to be politically correct in this moment. I so want to be understanding, and I so want to not be hands off because that's not my child. But damn it, if I was her mother, I'd be pulling her out by her hair out of that cabin. Like, what the hell do you think you're doing?
Well, that
trying to have sex with a guy who is having a baby.
That cabin
What is wrong with you?
What got Sophia in the situation she in now.
Yes. It's bad. It's bad. It's bad all around. I don't care how prepared you are physically. I don't care how prepared you are emotionally. This should not be happening right now. Everybody's moving too fast. Everybody.
So you're okay.
No, you go.
I was gonna say, so your main objection with it is the fact that Tate has all this other stuff going on, not the fact that they would, as two 18-year-olds, be having sex. You're saying it's the other circumstances.
Yes, teenagers have sex. We've established that. Teenagers have sex with protection, without protection, with two.
Don't be telling these teenagers business.
No, it's just like that to me is an inevitability. That's just gonna happen. That'll happen or it won't. The issue that I have here is that she thinks that she can keep going on as in life is la-di-da. We're spending Valentine's together. I'm gonna lose my virginity on Valentine's Day. It's gonna be so romantic. Where he just came back from the hospital where his baby mama had a scare.
She even bought a lingerie. It's a pretty color on her.
Yeah,
I like that
deep
color.
purple.
Yeah,
I like that.
You know who else looks like they like it too? Doug.
Okay, I like the idea of this couple. I'm gonna introduce one teeny little caveat to this though. As I previously pointed out to my previous argument, it applies here too. She's still in high school, dude. Slow your roll.
He ain't doing nothing.
Sleeping together? Oh, I don't think they should be. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who?
I
Are
mean,
you
he's
talking about
also
Tate?
Doug. I'm talking about Doug.
Doug ain't doing nothing but living his life.
I know. I'm just saying if he's ever thinking asking about
Doug
doing
was-
something. Please just wait till she's 18.
Doug
Please.
was
No,
there.
she is 18.
Oh, okay,
Wait out of high school though. I think she should.
Please wait. Till
Get her out of high school, because Doug is a little older than her. So
yes, he's a little older.
She's legal, but he is a little older than
her. It's not that big a deal. I'm not saying like it's icky or anything. I'm
No,
saying,
yeah.
Please just wait a few more months till she graduates, please.
Doug was just there to pick up the photo album. That's it.
But he lingered.
It just cut to commercial. Did you want him to walk in and be like, Holly?
Listen, I'm lingering and I have no interest whatsoever. I'm still gonna stop and look and be like, Holly, hey girl, like, you know.
Actually, it would have went if it were me or Justin walking in, it would have went more like this. Oh, Holly, hey girl. Oh,
yeah.
What you finna do?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
What y'all about to get into?
Yeah.
I do like him with her though. I like them together. I
you know why? Because it's fresh. Tate and Holly is too much. It's too much. They have been the past through years. We have been through a new Tate, and like all the arrests and the halfway house of the situation and the overdose and the coma. It's just too much. It's too much. It's too much.
You know what it is? They're a couple that have never had a chance to have their sweet time.
Yeah.
And
that's because Holly was trying to be, a savage.
Yeah. Well, I agree.
Anyway. Holly. Not Justin. Holly, where can I get that lingerie from? Where can I get that? I gotta slip into something about comfortable. Let's see. All right. And then there was a sweet moment between Julie and Maggie for Valentine's Day. Her just coming over and being like, "Oh, I just wanted to wish you a happy Valentine's Day." I was like,
Doug genuinely seems like he really wants to spend time with Maggie, and he loves hearing her stories about his grandfather, and he loves their love story. I know that we had talked previously about, is he a good guy? Is he a bad guy? I think he's actually such a sweetheart.
He's somewhere in between.
He's a sweetheart who probably just got into some bad luck.
Yeah, it seems like the history, it's not so much he's coming with the history of being troubled. It's more of he ran into some trouble, some temporary trouble, some bad luck, and wants to get out of it, or wanted to get out of it.
Yeah, and he's a little lost, and he's finding some comfort in Julie and her stories.
Mm-hmm.
That's nice.
Yeah, cute.
All right. Well, that was that tidbit, and now we're into Philip moves in. I mean, I feel like that's it.
What could go wrong?
I feel like this is such a setup with the show. They're just making sure we bring the drama a little bit closer.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Mm-hmm.
But at least Philip and Xander are getting along.
Yeah. Although, did anyone think the beginning part when he came in and hit the glass? I thought that was like a fake out. It was like a Philip imagining. Yeah. I was surprised when I was like, they came back and they continued. I was like, oh, it's a real scene. Okay.
I was actually surprised that Sarah didn't come into the room fuming and give Philip and Xander full court press to do whatever they need to Kristen. I feel like that's coming though.
I did like Kristen pointing out to Sarah, like, you're becoming darker, or I forget how she phrased it, or like, you're becoming like Xander, or however the phrasing was. But I was like, oh, good. It like, at least it's out there in the ether that he became a little better, but he seemed to be backsliding, and she's become a little bit darker in this relationship. And like Michael's been saying, like, how is this gonna last when you don't trust your husband?
And also pointing out the fact that, Xander ain't no clean slate, honey.
I did like the sorry.
All right, that's it.
I did like the the Demira history from the Kyriakis perspective. I
Mhm.
liked Philip filling in Xander about everyone. I liked they brought up Peter there. I liked they brought up Steven. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
is Steven coming back? I like that dynamic. So I'm like, oh, are they, as we get into this like business storyline, which I hope they do. I feel like the
Mhm.
90s was ripe with it. And I feel like if they do it right, it's interesting. So I'm wondering if they're going to bring in more characters under this business guise.
I don't know that I need them to bring in more characters, but I feel like they do need to run with it.
Mhm.
Don't have it be a Philip and Xander backslide, at least not so quickly. Give
Yeah.
them a chance to really gain momentum because they're right there. You can see it. They have a legitimate shot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can get on board with like, I don't know, they introduce like Steven into the picture and they're trying to get him, or they can never flip Peter. I think that's been well established.
no,
But even
never.
if it's just a little again, we're pinging the Peter thing because he may come or not. I don't know, but yeah. It's an interesting play, I guess, then to kind of turn one of their own or turn one of the board members. I think they mentioned Mr. Shanley's father about turning him, possibly.
I don't think that he would ever turn against Demira because he has too much financial stake in it.
Yeah.
Would he turn against the individual Demiras? Absolutely. Against the company? No.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of feel the same.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's pretty much it for days, right? All right, y'all. That was your week of days. And now it's time to go into our favorite part of our show, which are our segments. And we're going to start with mine, which is Tony's Official 3 Snaps Award.
Oh, snap! Oh, snap!
There we go. My 3 Snaps Award goes to a woman who had no time for onlookers, who gave someone a front row seat as to what was going to be happening in her house and quickly shut her down as she tried to have a reunion with her daughter.
Mother, if you untie me, I will be on my marriage.
Oh, no, not that one.
I hate to interrupt this little reunion, but
And then, just when you thought she had done had enough, there was more.
Mother, if you untie me, I will be on my merry way, and the two of you can continue this little mommy-me play date. Or I could do this. Come on. There. Now we can talk.
So to Ms. Rosalind Gentle,
Yes.
the lady in white, Ms. Rachel Blake, you get Tony's Official 3 Snaps Award for basically saying, baby, ain't nobody got time for you. This isn't about you. You sit in your chair and you be quiet.
Oh, snap!
Period. We do not have a caption that because the captor is not here, but we do have.
Those were the days.
All right, everyone, taking you back to February 13, 2007, where Lucas unexpectedly proposes to Sammy, and she accepts. And this is the second to last wedding proposal. This is the very idealized honeymoon, really great version of Lumi. And I go into greater detail on Those Were the Days Extended, where I break down their relationship in this particular portion of their never-ending saga. This was the sort of last time they were like legitimately happy and in love and moving forward, and everything was great until it wasn't. So yeah, February 13, 2007, where Lucas proposed to Sammy.
And guess what, y'all?
Those were the days.
They really
And now
were.
it's time for It's a Gift.
This week's It's a Gift goes to the one and only Elia Cantu and the slap heard all around Salem.
Mm.
And it was so good that Elia herself predicted that this would be the GIF for today.
Uh,
It's like we're thinking the
You know why?
same thing.
Mm.
Hey, I have a question for y'all. What did the 5 fingers say to the face? Slap!
That
was a good
That was
one.
a good one. Yeah.
Mhm. And that was It's a Gift. And now it's time for news and gossip.
All right, first up, we're starting off. We have some casting news that dropped this week. We have a newcomer, Mr. Hank Northrop, who is the son of the late Wayne Northrop and Lynn Herring. Of course, he's actually going to be joining Days. I think he's going to premiere sometime in the fall. He actually let it be known that he auditioned for Days shortly after his dad passed back in November. And he actually got the call on January 9th that he was going to be coming to the show. We don't know much about his character, who he's playing, how long he's staying, but we do know that he's going to have his debut scenes with Mr. James Reynolds as Abe Carver. And again, he's filming now, or started filming, I guess, late January, early February. So we'll probably see him in the fall there. So yeah, big congrats and welcome to Hank Northrop.
You know when I would have loved to have congratulated him? In October. That means this man literally just got the map to where the studio is located. He just got his first script, and they're already announcing that he is going to be arriving in Salem in the fall.
At least it's this year. All right, moving on.
It just grinds my gears.
Yay.
Here's the thing. I love the legacy of it all.
Yeah.
Wayne Northrop, legacy, icon, legend of Days of Our Lives. Kind of passed the torch down.
Mm-hmm.
The son joining, being able to experience what his father experienced. I love that. I love it.
Joining his dad's old partner.
You know when I would love it? In October, when he premieres. Welcome.
Come on our show. We'll save you a spot on our show in October. Moving
because
on.
I would have liked to, again, wouldn't it have been great to have not known this? And when the character shows up, much like Peyton did, is like, who that? And then have all this unfold?
I don't know if it makes that much of a difference. I didn't know. I wasn't familiar with Hank before, so I don't know if it would have made. I agree with you on the well-known actors. I think that makes a difference. But yeah, I wouldn't know the difference, I would say.
I just don't think we need to know right now. Okay. Y'all film too far in advance. Okay. I would let it slide if they were like General Hospital and they are like, what, a month or two ahead? Yeah. Okay, great. Oh my God. Hank Northrop. Okay, girl, we here for it. Like, come and knock on our door. But now I gotta wait until October.
You'll forget him before even
Tony,
then over mind.
Tony, I say this with all my heart.
You know you can't play too much.
All right, now stop before we get the copyright. I know.
But I also want you. I want you to remember that same thing, because I know karma is a bitch, and it's gonna come back around. And I'm gonna look at you and I'm gonna say, "Oh, but Araceli, let it go." And you're gonna be in your feelings, just like you was in your feelings about me not trying to tamale. You're gonna be in your feelings, and I cannot.
But to be fair, I don't think that's a disservice to me.
I cannot wait.
I think that's a disservice to you.
WAIT. I cannot wait.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, but it's like that to me is a disservice to you.
What is?
I was shocked that you haven't had it tamale. I was shocked, but it's not like I'm the one missing out. You're the one missing out. So I feel no qualms about the whole thing. I feel sorry for your lack of experience.
Let it go, let it go. What else happened in the news and gossip? Oh, that just gets on my nerves that we already know that this man is coming on.
Okay, hopefully this doesn't piss you off as well, but we know Matt Ashford and Missy Reeves are back filming. This is taken by Casey, or publicized with Casey Boss's Instagram. They're back on set. I actually think we're also going to get a cast photo soon. I think this is the background to possibly a 60th cast photo. But we also know they're on set filming. Expect them to show up sometime in November. Tony, stay calm.
Give it.
Them back. Then next up, some big congratulations to our friend Katie McLean. She has, and this news actually dropped 5:58 this morning, that she has now joined the cast of Beyond the Gates. She's going to play a character called Pamela Curtis. We don't know much else than that. We also don't know when she's going to air, but it is a CBS show, so they only shoot so far in advance. But yeah, big congratulations to Katie. On landing this new role.
Side note, I feel like maybe we've talked about this, but like, are we excited about Beyond the Gates? Are we going to be watching Beyond the Gates? Like, how do we feel about Beyond the Gates?
Yeah, I think we did talk about. I'm gonna watch it. I've never watched a CBS soap opera, so this will be my first.
I
can already see
in Michelle Valjean, who is the executive producer of the show. I have so much total faith and trust in her. How she put it back together, put a whole soap together again, and she is like the premier person to do this. So I will be 100% watching.
And sorry, Peacock, that we're talking about a CBS show. However, you don't sponsor our show, so.
However, there's still time.
Yeah. And it's good for the genre. The more soaps, the merrier. It all helps the industry. I looking at the previews, I was like, there's going to be some adjusting on my part to like get into a CBS soap opera the way it's filmed.
The way it's filmed is even different from the other CBS soaps. You can already tell it's a little different. So just have to go in with a fresh lens.
Yeah,
I want to encourage people to watch. Yeah. Give it a try. Do not give it the first week and go meh. Give it some time. Give it some time to let everything settle in and to get a taste of what's to come. I do believe next week they are featuring a lot of behind the scenes vignettes and stuff in the time slot that it's going to be in when it starts on February 24th. And Mike Manning is a part of it as well, who we all know as Charlie from Days of Our Lives. So y'all give it a chance. And let's see, how can I say this? It is a predominantly Black soap opera. But I feel like do not let that deter you from watching. I think this is a chance to experience different types of characters that are not often featured in the daytime regime genre. And
a lot of these are soap vets.
Yes. Yeah. So give it a try. Give it a try. And we'll check in and see what everybody's thinking about it. But I think as a soap community, we should be celebrating this, and we should definitely give it a try, because maybe this will give it a, and who knows what other soaps could pop up. And instead of having 4, we'll go back to having a good plethora of soap operas. So
who would have thought a year ago that another network soap opera would be ever like that? Wasn't even a thought. It was more of everyone hold on to their show because we could,
and look at this, and it's the mark of a loyal soap viewer that we hold on, because let me remind you, we had those early years of Passions which were not kind. They were rough, and we had to sit through demon babies, and we had to sit through the hell in the basement and the witches and the floating things and the I could go on and on. It was not pretty, guys, but I was rewarded for my loyalty because I can say that I've been watching Eric Marksoff from the very beginning of his career.
There you go. And now I would like one of our fans to do a snippet of us encouraging people to watch Beyond the Gates. And then we'll post that, and then y'all post it, and then make sure you tag everybody associated with Beyond the Gates to let them know that we here at Dishin Days are rooting for them.
Yes, and fully support them. Yes.
And then,
next.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead, Justin. Yes. More news and gossip, please.
There's still more.
Next up, I think a couple weeks ago.
And another thing that I want to... No, I'm just kidding.
We told you that we have a new Rachel Black coming to the show in form of Alice Halsey. This week, she sat down with an interview for Access Hollywood. The interview is not aired. She was just promoting it on her Instagram. We know that Alice is set to debut April 24th, so we're assuming that the interview where she talks about the character and probably gives us a little bit of preview of what's in store for her will probably air around that same week of her debut. But yeah, big congrats. I think from what we know of this, they made a change, and they made a change for a very specific reason. It seems like we have a lot of Rachel-centric storyline coming up, and something that is going to, I don't want to say heavy, but I think they're going to give the Rachel character, and in turn, this new actress, Alice Halsey, some very interesting material to play with. So I'm interested to see what that is. And it seems like they're pulling out all the stops here when's the last time we got an interview from one of the younger actors on set, sort of as a preview to what's going to happen with them. So yeah.
But it's interesting that you say that, because now I'm like, did y'all think Finley couldn't handle it? Because she looked like she was handling everything else pretty well.
That's why I'm interested to what it's going to be. If they're saying we need to make a change for what we have coming up, I'm curious what that is.
Yeah, sometimes it's about timing, where like the actor wants to commit to other projects, and then but then if their storyline is too heavy, then they can't.
Yeah. Well, we shall see.
Yeah.
Yes. Next up, we have birthdays to celebrate. We had big birthdays this week, starting off with Carson Boatman, and then Galen Gehring, and then our lovely Ilya Cantu. Got so many birthdays all in Valentine's week, and everybody seems like they had a good time. I think Ilya went to the spa at my suggestion. So it was just, it's been a big, and you could see Ilya came to our party. So it was like, party all week long. Happy birthday to all. And then next up, the Days social media pages had a segment called Conversation Hearts, in which Rob and Abigail, Alan Gregg, Stephen and Mary Beth, and Carson and Raven shared their memories of their on-screen couples. And you can go to their social media page at Days Peacock to see their responses.
Yeah, really cute videos of them. Yeah. Next up, we have some reminders, starting off with the Day Players Band. They are starting up and continuing their concerts into 2025. Next one's up, I believe, is beginning of March. They have, they'll be in Nashville, then in Birmingham, Oklahoma City, Addison, Texas, Albany, and finishing up as of right now in Pottstown, Pennsylvania. I'm sure we will, in the next week or a couple of weeks, we will get some more dates added to that. They seem to just be on a continuous roll here. But yeah, all tickets and information, you can go to thedayplayersband.com.
Yes, and Star Image Entertainment is going to have their summer concert and dance party. This is going to be the weekend of June 20th, 21st in Montreal, Canada. For tickets and information, you can go to eventbrite.com/Star Image Entertainment.
Yes. Next up, we have our Starstruck fan event. This one is a Cinco de Derby event taking place soon, weekend of April 5th through 6th of this year. This one's taking place in Meadowlands Racetrack in New Jersey. So all tickets and information, you go to starstruckfanevents.com.
And then Samantha and Friends is going to have 2 upcoming events. The first is going to be their Winter Wonderland Charity Fundraiser Gala. This will take place the weekend of May 3rd and 4th of this year. And then there will be their Haunted Mansion celebration, which is going to take place the weekend of September 13th through 14th. For tickets and information, go to samanthasfriends.org.
Yeah. And last but not least, of course, we had our 10th anniversary last weekend. We did our live show and then had a party afterward. We were joined by friends and fans and colleagues, and I think we just wanted to do a little recap here of that very busy day that most of you hopefully were watching us, and some of you were there at our party, but it was a long day. It was very eventful. I think it was nice for us to be in studio. I don't know about you guys, but I watched it back, and like a lot of people commenting, the chemistry, being able to see us all in one place was really great. We're also joined by, of course, James Law Jr. and Tammy Govea there. So yeah, that portion of it was amazing. And then the party for me was really great. I'm so appreciative of everyone who came out. We had some people from the cast come out. We had fans come out who made the drive from all over Southern California. We had colleagues come out, a few surprises here and there. It was just a really great, people were mingling and mixing and just really enjoying themselves. Drinks were good. The food was good. Yeah, everyone was just there in a really great celebratory mood, and it was, yeah, all worth it. I think we should do stuff like this a little more often, but it was a really,
it's so
I'm
much
glad
fun.
that we celebrated 10 years of Dishin Days.
Mm-hmm.
What about you guys?
I had so much fun. I never get out. And you could tell. Tony could
It
tell.
shows.
I never get out.
It shows. It 100% shows. I don't know. I feel like I'm still in shock that this show has been going on for 10 years. I'm always super appreciative of the people that from the cast that come by and support us, and the fans who support us. You know, I truly appreciate that. There's a part of me that wonders because, like, you know, we have been promoting it. We told fans to come out and things like that, and there were a few fans. I thought there would be more, but I started wondering, did fans think that like no one from the cast or someone was going to show up because we didn't announce them, and so they were like, man, I can skip it. I think if anyone knows the history of Dishin Days, whenever we throw an event, we never say if anyone's coming.
No.
Because of the fact that, one, it's not that type of event. It's supposed to be more of a mix and mingling event. It's not a fan event. But also it's more so to celebrate us. And so, yeah, we never announce it. But yeah. I always love fan reactions once they see who was there. Yeah. And they go, we didn't know, because you're not supposed to.
Well, there were a lot of people that we didn't know. There were some surprises, and then there were some people who RSVP'd that just had a time conflict, couldn't make it out. So it's a mixed bag. But the point is that it was a very cohesive environment where it's just everybody was just there to have a good time. It wasn't a fan event. It was just everybody getting together, having a good time, being appreciative of each other. And the vibe that I got from the cast that was there was that they're very appreciative of us, not just the main characters, like all the people that have been there for like decades plus, but all the people that like have small stints. There were a couple of people who, have done 6 months. There were people who haven't been on in like 10 years. And they were just very appreciative of us. And so that mutual respect was very much apparent in the room.
Yeah. I also want to say the fans who did come, I thought were incredibly like respectful. And again, it wasn't a fan event and we don't advertise it as a fan event, but the ease in which I think the actors feel in our environments, where we know we're not inviting them to a place where they're going to be hassled or mobbed, or it's going to be about them, or they feel like they have to perform, I think lends to the fact that, like, you know, when Paul or Lindsay come in, or Ilya, and they turn around and we can introduce fans to them, which I think was actually a really nice highlight, I will say, is being in the position to see some of our fans. And so a couple of them, I won't name who, they were a little trepidatious about even saying hi or knowing if it was appropriate or something. And there were a couple of people I went over was like, come on, let me introduce you to so-and-so, and knowing that I can introduce him to Paul or Lindsay or Ilya, and that would be respected. And it wasn't the trust there that I'm bringing someone over to them, the trust from them that I'm not bringing, you know, some fan who's going to want to take 1,000 pictures or just talk about days, but just want to be in the environment and have fun. And again, it was so lovely and reciprocal to be able to stand there in the middle or any point and look around and see our colleagues who came, people from other soap establishments and institutions came to support us, who we have a great camaraderie and friendship with, to see fans there, to see the cast there, to see other people who, again, like Araceli said, who haven't been on the show in years, but came out of the fact that we had them on our podcast and wanted to talk with them, even if years ago, to honor them and their character. And they were up for coming and celebrating with us. It was really, really special.
Yeah. So thank you all for celebrating us. Thank you to everyone who was able to stop by. Thank you to everyone who keeps tuning in every Sunday to watch us. Thank you to those who have transitioned over into our members only page. We appreciate everything, and we just continue to work very, 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 very hard to bring this show to you. So thank you. Thank you all. We really appreciate it. With that has been a very long
news and gossip.
And now it's time to find out what's coming up this week on Peacock's Days of Our Lives.
Happy Valentine's Day.
For the rest of us, it's one day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
In Salem, the romance lasts all week long.
The moment I saw you, my heart just skipped a beat.
Tate, you're here.
So's Doug.
You'd know that if you weren't so snobby.
This isn't just a casual fling.
What if we adopted your baby?
Was that the right one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because Valentine's Day started on Friday.
And it's just gonna keep going.
Yeah. They're gonna
love.
Cute.
All right. Well, that was this week's episode of Dishin Days. Before we head out, Justin Lee Hareld.
Oops, sorry.
Where can they find
You can
you?
find me on Instagram at Justin Lee Hareld.
And Miss Araceli, where can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Tia323 Araceli.
And you can find me on all social media platforms at Lounging with Tony. Go harass Michael Mattis at ML Mattis on Instagram and Twitter. And you can find us at Dishin Days Show on Facebook and Dishin Days on Instagram, X, and Threads. We want to thank you guys for showing up and showing out to another episode of Dishin Days. We'll be back next week to serve up a full dish of this coming week's episodes of Peacock's exclusive #1 award-winning HIT hit soap opera, Days of Our Lives. Until then, have a wonderful, safe week, and we'll see you back here next Sunday. Tell a friend. Bring a friend. Do all of that. Have a great night, everybody. Good night. Good night. This is the time we say good night.